So this day was the kind of day where it felt like it could be the last traditionally beautiful day of the year. Yeah. So I felt compelled to get out there, not only to skate, but with my camera and shoot Toronto while it's still beautiful. Today is a very special FlowCast. It's a skate review, it's a flow skate, and a little Q&A. It's a flow extravaganza. Let's start with the skate from Ricardo Lino. Put it on a couple days before we skated, and it felt so tight on my feet. I just put one foot in just while I was sitting there. So I put one foot in and it felt so snug around my mid-arch that I assumed there was going to be a breaking in period where I had to stretch the memory foam out. It's pretty plush memory foam. Here's some shots of the beautiful Micro Delta F. I was a little nervous about trying it because what if I didn't like something from one of my skate brothers? That would be a drag. No such problems here. There was no break-in period at all. I was being precious. Just felt so snug at first. I like the assisted crank buckle compared to just pushing it through. Micro Delta F, here we go. So this is my very first time skating anywhere on the Micro Delta F. And I forgot one very important thing is that I was wearing brand new wheels. These are 85A hardness. I like 85 to 90A, but 85A has traditionally been my favorite. And the wheel size is 80 millimeters. It's a rockered skate, so the middle two wheels make more contact and the end wheels don't make much contact. They're a few millimeters higher. So I knew I could be darty on one foot wearing a rockered skate, but I had forgotten just how tight the pivots were until this moment here where I find out I don't need much space to turn. So I ran that out a little bit. I was enjoying it. And then I decided to be fancy, yes. Maybe I'll make a video called Fancier Feet. Or better yet, Fanciest Feet. Fanciest Feet. Yeah, that's a great idea. I might be part ballerina. Or it's a ballerino. Yeah, the go-to move I enjoyed on these was the power stop and then to a backward crossover for the exit. And I think that's because you can just turn these skates so sharply and so quickly. So I'm able to nuance that move and squeeze a good amount of power from that backward under push crossover jobby. At this point here, I'm very curious as to how these will perform on the long haul. I'm finding the absorption of bumps is no problem. I guess because that front wheel's raised, so you don't really hit it as starkly as you would if you had a flat setup. I do have to carry my weight a little more forward than backward, as far as where my pelvis is in relation to my heels. I'm a little front-loaded with these, and that's due to the shorter frame and knowing that I have to balance on the middle wheels. On the glide. Or should. I don't have to. So relieved that I like these skates. So relieved that I love these skates. Could it be true? Do I like rockered skates? I have skated on rockered skates before and enjoyed it, but this is a bit of a revelation because it's been so long. And now I can see what the kids are all raving about. So I played around in that alley for about 30 minutes and felt very confident going out onto the street. So I only got one clip of me skating on the street with it, but it's a very extended clip. It's like an 11-minute clip where I don't ever cut away from the action. So if it looks like I've been clever with the editing and skipped some action, it's just me flipping the camera.
Oh, he's cute.
Then I miscalculated this little obstacle here. I thought I could climb up one side and then just drop down the various platforms off the other for an easy exit. The only problem is I clambered up it instead of climbed, and I misjudged where the steps were, so I had to just do a straight drop. Well, I freaked myself out. There was no real repercussion. I landed perfectly fine. I didn't think anything about the impact on my feet, even though I wasn't prepared. So yes, I didn't expect these to be good off drops like this, especially as they have a fairly high profile for the size of wheel they have, which I like because you'll see when I do my power stops that the boot comes nowhere close to grinding out on the road, which is just a huge pain in the ass. So I can expect to do some more nuanced, deeper carves with these skates. greater inversion and eversion because of that slightly higher profile. I mean, the wheels are ADA, so it's not that high. And the boot's very supportive. That's really what you need when you're dropping. These skates are very individual. I've never had such individual control. Usually in inline skating, when one foot's doing one thing, the other foot is either matching it, following it, or mirroring it. But these skates, I can just, I can point one foot one direction, one the other, play around, independently move, and then come together and harmonize again. And this is through a system of alleys and quiet streets that I found just north of Queen Street that take me right to City Hall. But I won't go that far today. It is the true Great Northwest Passage. So yeah, I think this is the first time you'll have seen this passage in real time. Okay, let's get into some Q&A. Let's move on to the Ricardo Lino video. Panthero literally look like a pair of kids living it up on the playground. I can only hope to experience such pure fun with someone else. Thank you. And that's probably the most important message we could convey, that it's important to play. It's great to play. Why wouldn't you play? Before I had inline skates, when I was personal training, I wrote this little manifesto, and I went off for like a whole page about how it's unacceptable for us in our street clothes just to start running down the street. It's true. Imagine if you were walking down a busy street and you were bored wearing your street clothing and you just decided you wanted to run. Maybe weave between the trees and the lampposts, do a couple jumps here and there, listening to music. Now, could anything seem, just drop the social conventions, could anything seem more natural than when you're happy or excited or just in need of outburst, just to run and play a little bit, burn it off? But yet the rest of the world would look at you like you're absolutely ludicrous. I know it. But I'd still love to see a time when people just, out of the blue, started dance walking, or running down the street, or jumping off things on the way to work, even if they didn't have wheels on their feet. Yes, inline skates are superior footwear to everything, but it's absolutely pathetic that we have to put wheels on our feet to be able to run around and play. It makes me sick. It drives me fucking crazy. The adults have forgotten how to live. And they're trying to take it away from the children too. Don't get me started on the disinheritance of this generation. James Mackey, City Skater. Hey James, nice video. I really liked how you introduced him. Everything was very positive and the video highlighted a lot of his qualities. The music felt very natural for the video with all the perfect shots. 3 thumbs up. I believe if you had 3 accounts, James, you would probably go and do that for me. Solid guy, James Mackey, City Skater. Ricardo was just up for it. He was upbeat, he loves skating, he loves being around other people, he's gregarious, and I truly believe that laughs were not something that he reacted with, but something that just escaped him. His happiness when skating is uncontainable. I would have had to work really hard to make this experience look miserable. That would be funny though. We did talk about manufacturing a beef between each other just for fun. Okay, on my pure city skating video, Aiken 1989 comments, just mesmerizing to watch. Reminds me of one of the first videos I watched from your channel about 4 years ago. That was 2012 actually. I think it was titled Inline Skating Canadian Style. Masterpiece, ellipsis. That was 2012. That was my very first inline skating video and it did quite well. So recently I was thinking about projects that I enjoyed immensely. What things do I like doing most, and shooting inline skating in a more artistic way. So I wanted to make something a little more pretty, a little less stunty, but similar to that first video that I loved making so much. I enjoyed the making of that. So the pure skating video didn't do, it's not crushing it, but it should. I'm happy with it. I too would enjoy seeing you skate with Joey and Todd. All of you guys are a gift to the skating community. That was from Mike LeMay. Yeah, Joey and Todd, I would love to skate with those guys. But I wouldn't call my video a video after it. I'd call it a piece. Because it would be like art. Seriously, I'd have to get like separate music for that one. I couldn't use stock YouTube music for that, could I? Let's go to the Patreon patrons for a few questions. They've got some good ones. How many furry conventions have you been to? Furry conventions. I've never been to a furry convention, though I think I could go and really appreciate the craft of the outfits these people make. And the characters they create as well, I'm sure. I'm still open to some furry artist making me a Jack Russell costume to skate in. I'd look slow for a Russell though, that's for damn sure. I'd have to train for that. That's from Friendly Psychobatic. Alright, Craig Marsden asks, are you like Benjamin Button, or is the lighting really good on Ricardo's camera? That's funny, some days I look and feel like $1 million. I believe that. Sometimes I feel great and I look in the mirror and I'm like, holy shit, am I dying? But most of the time, if I'm doing things properly, I'm eating well, I'm working out and getting a quality of load on all the different muscles in my body, keeping my alcohol consumption low, then I find consistently I feel younger than I am. Younger than I think I have any right to feel at my age. So yes, I don't feel like I'm escaping anything. God damn, I used to be so beautiful. But I'll say that when I'm 60. I'll look back and think now, oh my god, he was such a baby. Look at his beautiful skin. He's like a movie star. Alright, maybe I'm gonna carry away. This is like my new confidence coming out. I'll tell you about that some other time. But yeah, you're gonna have to get used to that. Hey B, we're still getting feedback from your post on our Philly Free Skate Facebook page. It was a great skate and a great video you posted. Thanks so much, Cliff. It was an incredible experience. What a dense weekend you guys have. I'd like to do right sometime again. How about using an app like Runkeeper to map your routes and posting the links to your Patreon community? That's a good idea, and I think as far as the Patreon community, that would be a very good exclusive. I would like to do that, Cliff, and I will think about it. I do have a hard time getting my shit together before a skate, but I do see a time when I have a workflow that's smooth, and I'm maybe wearing an iWatch, and I just press like a couple buttons, and it does it for me. So I don't think it's terribly complicated, Cliff. I think it's a very good idea, and I would love to see that too. It would be fun. What a graphic. It'd be so neat to see my route. Edward Taylor, your favorite trick/maneuver. What skills are you working on? Maybe a bit dull, but I'm interested. I'm trying to magic slide. Plenty of rain in the UK at the moment, which is facilitating slides. Thank you, Edward Taylor. Tricks I am working on. I haven't really had a chance to work on tricks. I wanted to nail my rotations down this year. And the 360 feels okay. But I've had no real dedicated practice space that I've been comfortable with. When I go to the rinks lately, they're taken by skateboarders. Even if there's a skateboarding park right next to the rink's got skateboarders and wax on the cement. And yeah, it's a shit show as far as where I practice. I could practice down at the Bentway. But I don't feel very popular down at the Bentway. We won't talk about that. But yes, in these new skates, I want to practice rotations. Not jumping rotations, but just rooted rotations. I'm sure that's not the word for it. Transitions. And I would also like to do a few more jumping rotations on these. I'd forgotten how much I like the medium-sized wheel, like that 80. There was a time that when my 80s went down to 76, I felt like I could do anything in the world. I could jump down anything, roll any stairs. 76 was a very good place for me.
wonder that fucking guy's always smiling. Ricardo Lino. These skates are so much fun. There's so much nuance in this. A little twitchy on the straightaways, and I do miss the extra leverage. But Jesus Christ, these things are super controlled. I mean, super twitchy, mobile.
KFE, I didn't know you live in Toronto. Yeah, I don't really show it much or mention it much in my videos. Yeah. I'm very excited to announce that I have the first Stay Low hoodie, and it's definitely the dopest piece of apparel I've ever offered. So the link to the Teespring is right below the video. You'll probably even see a picture of a hoodie.